Hello and welcome everyone. For those of you that missed my intro a little bit earlier today, my name is Alan van der Westhuizen and I'm the Head of Partnership Growth for IWG in South Africa, better known locally by our brands Spaces and Regis. We are really excited to be participating with REI in the Digitization Summit, and we're quite excited to be pioneering this revolutionary new digital platform. I may not be able to take your questions during the presentation, but I will be available throughout the summit. Please come and visit us. We'll be in our expo stand. I'll be able to answer questions and meet with you directly. Alternatively, if you'd like to drop me a mail, I'll be sure to get back in touch with you. My email address over here. So whether we were prepared or not, the last 18 months has seen probably one of the biggest disruptions in terms of the property market, particularly in the retail and commercial space. Recent circumstances have forced many people to work remotely and have been a catalyst for a greater adoption of digitization, and that in every aspect of our daily lives. The workplace has changed, and some experts may argue that the workplace has changed permanently. So today, I'd like to share our insights into the new world of work and talk about how we're embracing this evolution with our brands. So what do we do? IWG is the world's #1 provider of flexible workspace, connecting millions of like-minded professionals and enabling more than 2.5 million people to work more productively, where they want, when they want, for as long as they want, and helping them to have a great day at work. We have over 3,500 locations across 1,200 cities and towns in over 120 countries, with big aspirations to open one new center every day to reach our ultimate target of 20,000 centers by the year 2030. So how do we do this? By offering a range of products at various price points that suit any business throughout any stage of their life cycle. Starting with a virtual office that offers a business address, a telephone number, and access to our co-working areas for a few days a month. As a business grows, they might want to migrate to a co-working or dedicated co-working space, which allows them access to our co-work spaces, our club areas, and business lounges. Our dedicated offices range from a single workstation office to multiple workstation areas, fully equipped with desks, chairs, cabinets, phones, data points, and as well as secure, high-speed fiber internet connection. Meeting rooms and boardrooms are available to book on demand and are on a pay-as-you-use basis. And really that is what flexible co-working is about, is creating flexibility in how much space you need, creating flexibility in how long you can use the space, and creating flexibility in being able to access our network anywhere in any one of our 3,500 centers globally. If there's anything that we've learned from dealing with a global pandemic, it's that we are resilient and that we can adapt. We've also learned to deal with uncertainty. And in its own way, it's made it quite difficult for us to predict what is actually going to happen in the future. In fact, 64% of employees that previously never wanted to work from home are now working remotely and quite productively too. Many companies have thought about a remote work strategy before the pandemic, but never really implemented it. It's only since that we've been forced to implement a remote working strategy that we've tested the system and tested how efficient our employees can be working remotely. This has given rise to a whole lot of new buzzwords and acronyms. There's hybrid working, asynchronous working, WFH, work from home, WFA, work from anywhere, and the new acronym, which is WNH, which is work near home. This hybrid work culture allows employees to work from home some days and work either from an office or a flexible workspace the rest of the week. Whilst this contributes to improved employee wellness and a better work-life balance, it also leaves large conventional spaces underutilized. Many companies are reducing their footprint and considering a more flexible solution for their employees. Whilst working from home has some advantages, there is still a need for an environment that is free of distraction and is professional enough to be client-facing. The real challenge, particularly in Africa, is an environment that has continuous power supply and a stable internet access. A remote work survey conducted by PwC in January 2021 found that 55% of employees prefer to work remotely for at least 3 days of the week. It also found that 83% of employers and 71% of employees agree that remote working has actually been successful and that they are more productive because they spend less time commuting. Industry experts also agree. If you look at what CBRE is saying, they're saying that the trend is permanent and that more companies are adopting a shared work desk strategy, and that by 2030, 30% of corporate real estate will be flexible. IWG currently has 57 centers across South Africa with a view of doubling that footprint over the next 3 to 5 years. And those are predominantly with the Regis and the Spaces brands. This growth will be driven predominantly through the franchise channel and with franchise partners in suburban locations and second-tier cities and towns where we have little or no presence. Our development strategy has been supported by credible research data to identify the number of office-intensive employees and associated demand for flexible workspace in a particular area. There's a new trend that's fueling our strategy, and it's called semigration, where major cities are experiencing mass exodus, and as property buyers invest in smaller coastal towns to offer a better quality of life for a fraction of the cost. If we look at the Western Cape as an example, various villages such as Pringle Bay, Betty's Bay, Kleinmund, Malmesbury, Hermanus, even Gans Bay, they're all showing an increase in property sales and permanent relocation from home buyers, not only from Cape Town, but also from Gauteng and KZN as well. The franchise journey with IWG starts with a conversation. And really what we seek to do in that discussion is understand what the franchise needs are and what their investment capability is. And then we look at the areas that the franchisee would like to develop their franchise business in. With multi-center franchisees, we prefer to cluster the centers geographically. This allows the franchisee to play an active role, an active operational role in overseeing the business, and also allows for efficiencies in the operation of the center. Cluster franchising offers territory exclusivity and avoids competition with other franchise centers in an area. Once we know how many centers a franchisee wants to develop within an area, we'll agree on a development term and we'll work closely with the franchisee to secure prime locations at a preferential lease term. The rise of the flexible working culture is helping fuel the digitalization of the workplace. As companies embrace remote working, it opens up the door to recruiting team members from anywhere in the world. The digital revolution means that for many companies, particularly software-based jobs, it's no longer necessary for a candidate to be within a commutable radius of that particular business. Any company that has to adhere to the International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, would now have to include their operating leases on their balance sheets. This is forcing companies to reduce their overall lease obligations, and flexible workspace provides a solution for that. And as technology creeps into the workspace, it saves time and makes processes more seamless. A lot of the growth that we see in flexible co-working is being driven predominantly by millennials, but not necessarily because of their age, but because they make up the majority of the workforce in South Africa currently. What's interesting to see is that the next generation that are coming through, Generation Z, will be unlikely to recall a time without mobile phones or Wi-Fi connection. These generations have a close affinity with technology and an intuitive knack of getting to grips with new tech. So if you want to retain their talent in your business, you need to have a digitally enlightened workplace. Technology and flexibility go hand in hand to take work outside of the traditional work component. There is no doubt that the face of property is changing. Leases are being negotiated and structured differently, and businesses are looking for more flexibility and more cost-effective space that they can pay for on demand. Non-essential functions and services are being outsourced, and everything is being stored digitally on the cloud now. CB Richard Ellis conducted a research into the European flexible office markets in 2017. Their insights revealed that despite rapid growth in recent years, the flexible office market is still growing at 24% per year. It's also highlighted that the growth is being driven by millennials who would much rather have a better workplace instead of a better work package benefits. Corporate real estate's real objective is occupancy. So in times when businesses are decentralizing, downscaling, and becoming more efficient, companies are less inclined to commit to long-term leases. In conclusion, the future of work is being driven by flexibility and hybrid work models. Semigration is also playing a big part in where people choose to work from, and ultimately leads us to the conclusion that the office is not dead, but it's just evolving. And flexible workspace provides a very real solution to this new world of work. Thank you for attending, and please come and visit us in our exhibition stand and introduce yourself so that we can meet and chat about your interest in the flexible workspace opportunity.